ideas about who I'm talking about. But, you know, I just never related to any of that. And then when I started working as a journalist, I sort of saw the media and political correctness, of course, now in America has become deadly, with San Bernardino, Orlando. People knew about these guys and didn't report them for fear of being Islamophobic or
It's like
racist.
the German minister that got raped by Muslims.
And lied about it because she didn't want to stoke Islamophobia. It's so insane. It's so insane. In Sweden now, where you're not allowed to report the ethnicity and religion of rape attackers.
In Finland, this guy got attacked by guys with guns and baseball bats. He fought back, so he's getting a, what was it, a 4-year sentence, and they're getting like 3 months.
Oh my goodness, it's so anyway.
They said that for the crime of too vigorous self-defense.
I mean, I grew up, ashamed of being identified with this group of like hectoring, nannying, awful gays. I call them the bad gays. And I just realized that my, calling was resisting this kind of political correctness. So I've become a kind of warrior for free speech and for the First Amendment, and that's why I love America, because it is still...
Well, sure, gay people, like, say, back in Greece or in Rome or wherever, like manly and stuff. Where did this come from, like this... The
sissy stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think, I like to have fun with it, and I like to kind of dress in silly clothes.
Sure.
Jewelry, because it antagonizes the left, right?
Sure, I understand that's why they hate it, but I mean, fine. Yeah. I'm saying, when did that become...
But the sissy stuff, it's very interesting to me that, gay people are constantly celebrated as being unique and remarkable and all the rest of it, and they all look like each other, they sound like each other, they have terrible sets. I don't know where this meme occurred.
Because gay guys used to, like, conquer the world, like, burn cities.
No, I was Alexander the Great, and now what do we have? RuPaul's Drag Race? I mean, I like that show because it's fun, but this is where gay culture and where gay people are so overrepresented in history, in, like, artists, philosophers, politicians. What do we have now? Nothing. Gay culture is so boring and so bland. I never identify with any of this stuff. I want people to push the limits of what can be thought and said. I want people to break taboos.
So what's happened in the modern world then? Because it's not just, quote, gay people that are acting like a bunch of fops. You've got men, women. Did civilization make it too easy and we got soft?
Yes, I think so. I mean, Camille Paglia, who you will know and I'm sure quite like, says that the trans thing always pops up just before the fall of a great civilization.
It does. It's a cycle.
Yeah, and it's a sort of late decadent period in an empire's trajectory. I pretty much think that's spot on for what we're experiencing in America. I like to think, Europe is basically lost. I like to think that America could be saved, though, and I'd like to think that there is some hope for America and that there's a possibility that we can reaffirm and return to the primal importance of the principle of the First and Second Amendments, the basis on which this country is founded, what made it the best country in the world, and just remind everybody what happens when you don't have those things. Look at the Middle East, look at Africa, look at the countries where you don't have freedom of expression,
absolutely,
freedom of thought.
And by the way, I'm going low tech here today, being very lazy. I have my computer over here, I can punch up callers, but I haven't done that on the Comrex. Will you guys, I open the phones up, will you send me the calls on my iPhone so I can go to them? I am again here on the road at the RNC 2016. Milo is here with us, a ton of energy and making a lot of really great points. So I'm glad this interview happened. I'm really glad that I came to the RNC. I almost want to go to the DNC now, but I got to tell you, I'm
going to get killed in Sweden instead. Do you know that?
Do what?
I'm going to get killed in Sweden instead. Do you know that?
No.
No, I'm going to lead a gay pride march through a Muslim ghetto in Stockholm next week.
I heard you.
Instead of
forgot.
Yeah.
I hope you. Wow. They're probably trying to arrest you for religious incitement, saying, "Oh, probably. How dare you have your rights?"
Yeah, probably, yeah. So I'm glad I did this. It might be the last interview I give.
Wow, I gotta tell you, you got some huevos, because Biggs and them aren't wimps, and they went over to Molenbeek there in Brussels, Belgium, and it was like no go.
It's bad.
Like, you're not getting gas here, you're not eating here, get out. People chasing them, screaming at them. So and you're going. I forgot you're doing that too. Tell us what else you're up to.
So over summer, I'm going to be spending some time back in London for a change in August, and then in September, my Dangerous Faggot tour starts again, the college tour where I've been.
Explain that. Yeah, talk about that, because a lot of folks have heard about it or they've seen clips, but you just try to go speak at colleges and they try to stop you because they're so liberal.
Well, because they can't cope with the idea that a gay man might have opinions that go off reservation. The left has persuaded people for so long.
So you're just saying you're not in a cult?
Right, I'm not in a cult, I like to think of myself as a free thinker, as an iconoclast, and I just like to talk about free speech and why it matters. And this is such an offense to the left. It is so distasteful to the left that they send people down, they pay protesters to come down and, leap on stage, swing for me, snatch the mic. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. Black Lives Matter in DePaul, charged the stage, wouldn't let the event continue, so we led a march on the principal's office instead.
What does your gut tell you? I mean, we've seen Michael Moore come out on Politically Incorrect last night and say, look, I think Trump's going to win. I think he is too, because most people are closeted and they're afraid to admit they're for Trump. I mean, I think unless there's huge election fraud, I think Trump wins in a landslide.
I have a feeling it's either going to be a narrow victory or a big defeat. I'm not sure about the landslide, but I will. You know about preference falsification, of course you do.
Yes.
You know, I very much believe that is happening in America right now. You know, it's kind of the BuzzFeed thing. Everyone sort of says they read BuzzFeed, and everyone sort of says they're a feminist because it's easy, because the social pressures all move in that direction. You know, just for a quiet life, you'll kind of agree with certain things you don't really agree with. I think Trump is an example of this, and I think we're going to see what's called a preference cascade. You know, when people just suddenly realize there's no social consequences attached to telling the truth, voting how you really want to vote, and you realize that so loads of your friends are doing it too. That's happening right now in America. People are sort of having...
That's why I'm thinking you can have a landslide.
Right. Well, people have... I mean, maybe you're right. People are having these furtive conversations with each other about, are you voting for... Yeah, I am, yeah, I am. And this is happening right now in America, all over the country. And the pollsters, you know, people lie to pollsters about this stuff all the time because they don't...
I've had Hispanic guys that are doing my yard come over and say, I like your show, your brother speaking English, I like Trump.
Yeah.
And I say, why? And he goes, he wants to... you know, make money for family.
Yeah, and
It's
true, but you know, you go to Los Angeles.
Taxes, you know, oh yeah, genius.
Everyone tells you that, you know, in Los Angeles, like, you know, everyone's up in arms about Trump. You know, I go to Los Angeles all the time because we're based there, and everybody I meet is voting for Trump. You know, we went into a camera store to pick up a lens the other day, and the guy behind the counter is Hispanic, and he saw a little pin or something on me, and he's like, yeah, MAGA. You know, like, all the time.
It's also a rebellion thing. It's like, look, forget even who Trump is. We're sick of the Bushes, we're sick of the Obamas, we're sick of the Clintons.
Right. Right. Well, it's that sort of tired globalist establishment order, you know, sort of the business as usual candidates. People want to see them burn. They want to hurt them, you know. What
happens to Trump, though, if he doesn't try to deliver? Man, if he gets in office and doesn't try to deliver, wow. I'm coming after him.
I mean, I kind of want him to build the wall, fix trade, smash political correctness, and then do nothing else. You know, I don't want him to do anything else. I want him to be like Coolidge. I want him to be basically a president just sits there and quietly administrates.
So you go play golf.
We don't need any more activist presidents.
Just take the foot off America's neck.
Right. Why do we need more government departments, more federal government spending, more, like, you know, we don't need activist presidents anymore. We've had enough of those, I think. You know, you have had enough of those.
I want to go to calls here in a moment. In 60 seconds, addressing the camera right there, Milo. What is the 60-second boil down of where this country is?
America is, and I don't say this lightly, and I know people say this every election, but America really has a huge decision that's going to determine the future of the country, because the next president is going to get to appoint a huge number of Supreme Court justices. It cannot be Hillary Clinton. Men will be under attack. You know, even white people will be under attack, based on what some of Hillary Clinton's friends like to say. Donald Trump represents, to me, the most exciting thing that's happened in politics in America in the last 30 years, and that is an existential threat to political correctness. It is the best thing that's happened to America, and it is the most important thing you can possibly do if you love the Constitution and you appreciate the principles on which America was founded, is vote for Trump.
It's a no-brainer. The entire filthy power structure is against him. I mean, how could you not be for Trump?
Look at the people who hate him. That tells me more than enough. You know, everyone who hates him the most, they're the worst people in the world, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Milo, you know, I've talked to you in private. You're calm, subdued, gentlemanly guy, and I've always seen your clips on TV. You're very animated. But I tell you, you got a lot of energy, man, and your points are all really cogent.
High energy, as we like to say.
Absolutely. I want to take some phone calls here for folks for Milo. But again, since you're being censored, don't take for granted Infowars.com. Don't take for granted DrudgeReport.com. Don't take for granted what Milo's been doing. They're coming after all of us, as Drudge almost a year ago came in the studio to warn everybody in that exclusive interview. So Milo, give people the different contact points for you.
You can find me on Facebook. Just search for my name. You'll see the little verified check. Amazingly, Facebook hasn't taken that away yet. They do seem to be a little better. I think you're right about that. You can find me on YouTube, and you can find all the stuff by and about me, all the journalist stuff, clips from media appearances, and all sorts of things at Breitbart.com/Milo.
Well, I haven't heard anything where anybody needs to be banned or arrested. I really, you know.
No, I don't think I've said anything that makes me a danger to the state yet.
I mean, and it's true that Janet Reno looked like a... I mean, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
I mean, what kind of a world do we live in when we can't call an ugly person ugly? I mean, please, if someone's ugly, they're ugly.
Hey,
you know?
I'm ugly compared to what I looked like 20 years ago.
I don't know.
I think I'm only going to get uglier, so let people say it.
You're doing okay for your age, actually.
Well, people call me names all over the internet. I think it's funny. Since when can people not take something, you know?
No, of course. I mean, you know, not being able to take a joke. You know what the worst of it is? The worst of it is they're allowed to come at you with all of the vitriol that they can muster, all of the spitefulness and hatefulness they can muster. But somebody on the political right or a libertarian cracks a joke, and they sort of disingenuously pretend that it was some kind of hate attack, and it's like, no. I was just making fun of you, and making fun of you is okay.
There was a video like 6 months ago or 5 months ago. Biggs was out at this Oregon university where they banned the Trump people. You'd be able to have their own event. And they were, by the way, Hispanic.
Yeah.
That had been banned. And Biggs, those were wearing InfoWars shirts. And literally, these even professors came in and they saw them. They go, InfoWars, I'm scared. And they go, police. And they knew it was fake. But it was just like, my God, these are like 2-year-olds.
I don't know why. It's this sort of feigned fear. I mean, like, I bet you're lovely. You're not, like, you know, it's like, in what way are you at risk from this stuff? They say when I go on college campuses, I'm a threat to their physical safety.
Remember the chalking?
Are you kidding? Oh, no, chalking is a hate crime. You know, it's a threat to our quote-unquote...
Trump 2016.
Yeah, this is a race hate crime that is banned from DePaul. You know, and this represents a threat to physical safety of students. Get a grip. This is ridiculous.
This is like crazy. It's like living in a prison.
It's ridiculous.
Cindy.
Prison would be a lot more fun.
Cindy says she's a gay woman on feminism. Thanks for calling in, Cindy. You're on the air worldwide with Milo. Go ahead.
Milo, you're a real baby doll. You're real cute. Anyway, I'm a gay woman, have been for 40 years. I despise feminism. I always have.
Bravo.
Cheyenne, Clint Walker, that man always turned me on. I love men.
Okay, so you're not too gay. You like men, actually.
No. Yeah, I mean, I had a compliment, some other men having compliments. How much of a lesbian are you really, madam?
No, the only difference is that I don't like sex.
She's double dipping.
I was viciously raped when I was young. And it kind of turned me off toward the sexual aspect of it. But I'm very patriotic. I like chauvinist men. I love when men opening doors.
Yeah.
I know you think that's funny, but
how is that chauvinist? I was just told by my mother to do that.
No, I think she means chivalrous.
Chivalrous, yeah, chivalrous. But that's what I mean. I was told to do that by my mother.
Of course, but
so it's her fault.
But you know what it is? Feminism has been telling women for 30 years to treat women just like we treat each other. Well, taunting is how men bond. Let me tell you, women don't like it when men speak to them like they speak to each other. Men speak to each other horribly. They speak to women generally with respect and with consideration. You do not want that. Trust me, ladies.
Yeah, they get mad when you start treating them like that.
I mean, women backstab each other and bitch about each other in private. Men just, like, roast each other in public. And women generally don't deal with that as well. Trust me, you don't want that.
Good points, man. Good to hear from you. Let's go ahead.
Thank you.
Got a lot of ladies calling today. Melissa in New York, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi. I just wanted to say, Milo, I'm a big fan of yours. And I have to say big fan because, yes, I am a fat girl. And
no, that's okay. That's okay.
Sweetheart, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being a little juicy. We're just saying we could make jokes about it.
Yes, which I think she's behind us.
But Milo, you know, has been writing articles lately about big girls, and I get flack for being a fan of his and being a big girl. But I just have a question for you.
Of course.
You talk about being rich. And I was wondering if you had been talking to investors about maybe starting your own social media platform for people who are conservatives or for people who are free speech advocates when we have Twitter shadow banning people.
Well, thank you for the question. I'm not an entrepreneur, and I don't think I'd be very good at the head of a social networking company because I'd be too wild and too pro free speech. I'd like anything.
Hold on, we're going to skip this break. I hear music coming in. Go ahead.
Sure thing. You know, I think I'm not probably the right person to do it, but I'm very interested in hearing from people who are up to that. I know that a lot of people have emailed me saying they want to start an alternative to Twitter. A lot of people are saying, what social networks are you going to? Look, very simple from me. You know, Twitter sent a very big political statement. They didn't just block anyone. They blocked me, and it was a big political statement. It was the moment that Twitter said, if you like irreverence, mischief, fun, if you like people who take the mickey out of feminists, the mickey out of Black Lives Matter, if you like libertarians, if you like conservatives, if you like people who don't fit the mold, you're not welcome.
And if they can get away with shutting him down, they can shut us all down. Great to hear from him, Melissa. And let me say something about making fun of fat people. Listen, it's because they're trying to ban it, we have to do it. I gained 98 pounds over like 10, 15 years of not working out. I went from looking like a Calvin Klein model to looking like Jabba the Hutt. I do videos where I go, here I am as Jabba the Hutt. Here I am now, I lost like 60-something pounds. I look better. I'm going to lose the rest. The whole point is we're not saying you're bad because you're fat. We're just saying we can't totally accept it. Only like we can't accept diabetes. We have to admit there's a problem. But I don't hate anybody because they're fat. I hate a leftist who's fat, though, who says we should ban free speech because they don't want their feelings hurt.
No,
At that point, I want to start talking about fat asses.
Of course. And, you know, this is an example of how the left creates the bigotry that it claims to be policing. It's a sort of Kafkaesque cycle where they create exactly what they say is out there in the world. The only reason I have a go at it is because people are sociopathically telling young girls that that the body positivity is okay, that you can be healthy at any size. That's simply a lie. And if the way to get the message over to people is take the fun out of fatties, because, by the way, all the studies show fat shaming works, and all the sort of crazy liberal studies that are all horribly flawed.
Instead of like, hey, be proud, you know, go from 500 to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
No, you need to go climb some hills.